course, a moment every hockey fan is looking forward to. Because for the next at least 60 minutes, you're about to see a team that is always considered as one of the best. They are the world champions. They are also the junior champions from 2023 and the IIHF World Championship, and they are multiple winners. Fourth line, number 3, Alien Zellweger. Number 8, Michael Bunting. Number 20, Nick Paul. Number 71, Ridley Gray. And number 98, Connor Bedard. Head coach of Team Canada, Mr. Andrea Torini.
Bud? Coming in hot in the salmon?
This is my color.
It works.
Let's introduce the lineup. 14, Great Britain. Goalkeepers. Number 1, Jackson Whistle. Number 33, Bad Bones. First line, number 2, Sam Ruoff. Number 17, Mark Richardson. Number 75, Robert Dowd. Number 91, Van Lake. Number 94, Kate Nielsen. Second line, number 26, Evan Mosi. Number 41, Josh Batch. Number 9, Brett Perlini. Number 40, Liam Kerr. Number 48, Johnny Curran. Third line, number 13, David Phillips. Numbers 28, Van O'Connor. Number 7, Robert Bakovich. Number 11, Cameron Critchlow. Number 74, Ollie Pazarich. Fourth line, number 44, Sam Jones. And now please welcome us, World Champions, Team Canada!
Welcome to Prague on this busy Saturday. The first of three games today has Canada taking on Great Britain as Canada begins defense of the World Championship it won last year. And Great Britain is back in the top division after winning Division 1A last year, getting promoted along with Poland. And there is Connor Bedard, who has played 27 games for Canada internationally at the under-18s in the World Junior and scored 30 times. The officials for this noon hour start: Christian Wickman of Finland, Christopher Holm of Sweden are the referees. The lines: Shane Gustafsson and Anders Nyquist. And there is Peter Russell, 5th year as the head coach of the British national hockey team, a Scot who was a goaltender in Great Britain for 9 years. Talk about the challenge of opening this game tournament against Canada. And Andre Tournier's 3rd straight year as the head coach of the Canadian national men's team, head coach of what was then Arizona, now Utah, in the NHL. It's a young Canadian roster. We mentioned 7 have won World Junior Gold, 9 rather have won World Junior Gold in the last 5 years. 7 have won gold in the World Championship. John Tavares will be the captain tomorrow, but today the C is being worn by Colton Parayko. Tavares arrived yesterday to join Team Canada. And for Great Britain, the major challenge, they lost 8-0 to Canada in 2019. And they'll face a team that features 3 first overall picks. Connor Bedard, 1, Owen Power, and John Tavares, the 3rd player to go first overall in a National Hockey League draft. Jackson Whistle, the 28-year-old from Kelowna, BC, is one of 5 Canadian-born players on this British team. Plays for Belfast in the English Elite Hockey League. As Robert Dowd urges his teammates on, and starting a goal for Canada is 23-year-old Winnipeg native Joel Hofer, a gold medalist for Canada at the World Junior Championship in 2020 and last year's World Championship. But his first full year in the NHL this year was St. Louis at a .914 save percentage. Dawson Mercer, a gold medalist at the 2020 World Junior Championship here in Czechia. And Canada, pending the arrival of Tavares, had the youngest roster of the 16 teams in this tournament.
Their captain might skew that a little bit, but point remains young and energetic.
And Jack McBain faces things off for Canada to Owen Power. And ahead it goes to Brandon Tanev winding in. Tanev has that shot deflect wide. And here's Parayko with it. Shoots, it bounces just wide. There's a chance for Mercer in tight, and a good chance there. Stopped by Whistle, who played in the 2015 Memorial Cup for the Kelowna Rockets.
Jackson Whistle would be anticipating a busy evening or afternoon.
So people will look at this from the outside and say, you know, it's a mismatch. Canada won the last game 8-0. Great Britain's just promoted. For these British players, this is an enormous thrill. They will tell their grandchildren that they played in this game against these players.
For the Canadians, they love the fact that it's on back in Canada, regardless of the time.
Mangiapane to Dylan Cousins. That's knocked away by Evan Mosey, an Illinois native. And now Dylan Cousins with a quick shot. Whistle makes the save on that. I mentioned the first of 3 here today. Austria will play Denmark in the next game, followed by the host team Czechia against Norway. Czechs won a shootout last night against the Finns, 1-0. Spinning and shooting is Johnny Curran. Now the puck picked up by Jamie Alexiak, trying to join his sister Penny as a gold medalist for Canada. She's the most decorated Canadian Olympian in history. Brandon Hagel, a late addition to the Canadian roster, picks that loose in the corner. Being joined there by Jared McCann. And now picked up by Pierre-Luc Dubois, who was also added late to the Canadian roster after the LA Kings were eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs. Damon Severson back with it. Flips it back across to McCann. Up for Dubois, knocks that down for Severson, jumping in. Severson works it back in front. Whistle steered that away. Now brought back the other way by Robert Lakovic for Britain, but that pass goes off a stick into the Canadian bench. Jay Woodcroft, one of the Canadian assistants, quickly grabbed that puck.
Well, obviously a lot of attention on Connor Bedard for good reason, given what he's done in his career. No full bubble on, the half visor now. He's fully recovered from his broken jaw that he suffered during the NHL regular season. Still played enough to lead all rookies in goals and points.
He was the IIHF Male Player of the Year last year. After his brilliant performance at the World Junior Championship in Halifax. As that puck flutters down to Hofer, he'll hang on to that.
And we know one of the motivations for different players from different countries is to prove themselves or get on the radar or get in the good graces of the national teams, given the best-on-best competition coming up.
Right.
And for Connor Bedard, that's part of his challenge in this tournament. Show that he can play on the big ice at the men's level, be productive to try to make the four nations and the Olympics coming up in the next couple of years.
Saw Robert Dowd there, the reigning British Player of the Year. Played for Sheffield, which won the treble in the Elite Ice Hockey League this year. They won the regular season. They won the playoffs. They also won the League Cup, which is the year-long competition between teams at all different levels. We never call it the double when you win the regular season playoffs, do we, in the NHL?
emulating Man City for the treble.
Liam Kirk moves it in, drafted in the 7th round by Arizona in 2018. Kirk played a couple years for Peterborough in the OHL. He knocked down Tanev there. Kirk with a long shot, scores! And Liam Kirk opens the scoring for Great Britain. And wait a minute, no goal.
Liam Kirk doesn't realize it yet.
The British don't know it, but the official has waved this off.
He's calling a crease violation. Peter Russell looking for a replay.
So the official on the ice, Christian Wickman of Finland, has called goalie interference.
What a play by Kirk, just sheds Tanev, throws him down, gets to the middle of the ice, and oh yeah, absolutely. Fires it home, but Great Britain player right in front, skates through the hands of Hofer.
It's Curran.
It looks like Hofer gets his blocker maybe impacted by, yeah. That's the, he's trying to make the save with that hand. That's a no-brainer. That's a good call.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you get caught up in the moment. Big goal for Great Britain, but when the goaltender is moving his hand to make, there's a reaction.
Maybe the first two weren't, but the third one was definitely goalie interference.
Yeah,
so
we're not going to risk challenging that.
They are.
Oh, that reaction was like,
why not?
Why not? We're challenging it anyways. What do we have to lose? We can, I mean, you can go shorthanded, but at the expense of maybe getting a rare goal. I think this will not take long. I think Christian Wickman was right on top of it. And Peter Russell's got that wry grin on his face like, we're rolling the dice here. We have a 3% chance of winning this. Curran goes in there on his own. Now, you could argue, where's Hofer's feet? Oh, he's well inside his crease as well. Yeah. It's not like he's out in the white. He's well inside his crease. And the hand he tries to make the save with, his blocker, is impacted by Curran sliding through. Blocker, top of the, he skates right through the blade of the Hofer stick.
He catches the catching glove, the mask, and the blocker. So
other than that, there wasn't much contact. So Canada gets a break, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this one will end up not counting.
I mentioned Liam Kirk played for Peterborough in the OHL for a couple of years, played for Tucson in the American League, suffered a season-ending knee injury. Wound up playing in Finland last year. He was in Litvinov here in Czechia this year. He's going to Germany next year to play for Berlin.
He's undoubtedly Great Britain's best player.
Right.
They kind of look to him to...
Well, he had 10 points in 5 games in Division 1A when they won promotion last year. Led them in scoring.
But even if when this doesn't count, I'm assuming this won't count, for Great Britain, there is just something positive.
Sure.
You know, we got the puck, we got a shot, we got a goal. Yes, we're underdogs, but it's not impossible.
After review, call on the ice dance, we have a good goal. Sorry.
No, we don't
call on the ice dance, we have no goal.
That's tough. That's a tough correction.
So they had to take it away twice.
Oh, no, yeah, here comes the penalty for Great Britain.
Right. So now Canada will go to the power play.
And this is always interesting internationally. Power plays, who's on the power play? Connor Bedard's on the power play, but how they work.
And they're sending Curran off to serve the penalty. He was the guy that interfered with the goal. It can be anyone, but. All right, so Dubois, along with Dylan Guenther, Michael Bunting, Connor Bedard the forward, and Owen Power on the back end.
Remember, Guenther and Bedard had great chemistry in the World Junior on the power play. One-timers galore.
And now Bunting with a quick shot, whistle to stop on that. Here's Bunting back with it. Bunting banks that back to Power. Owen Power, gold medalist in 2021, that was rattled high by Guenther. Remember, Power began that tournament as Canada's extra defenseman, had a 3-second shift in the first period of the first game. Played more than any skater in the third period of the gold medal game. Power plays it across to Guenther to Bunting with a shot, hit a leg in front. And it's sent down the ice by Josh Batch.
Bunting a lot of touches early in the bumper position.
Power snaps that pass ahead to Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois made the All-Star team at the World Championship a couple of years ago. Drops it back to Bedard. His World Championship debut. Bedard back with it. Works to the goal mouth. Dubois chips it across. Here's Guenther with it. Bedard. Feeds it across. That's just ticked away by Critchlow. The puck goes into the British bench.
You can see the rotation. Bedard is trying to set up that seam pass to Gunther. Gunther is a tremendous shooter of the puck. For lots of goals late in the year for Arizona. And so Great Britain survives the first half of their first penalty kill. And now Nick Paul, who feasted in front of the net on the Tampa power play this year.
Yeah. Had a great year for the Lightning, a career high 24 goals. Of course, scored the golden goal for Canada at the World Championship in 2021. Bowen Byram back to McCann with a shot, and Whistle makes the glove save.
Jared McCann, playing on a strong side, can absolutely shoot and score from that position. Coming off another really good year for Seattle. 40 a couple of years ago, 29 this past year. Kicking Nick Paul out of the faceoff. You lose one, you don't get to take any more.
First round pick of the Canucks back in 2014. At the line, here's Byram to Cousins. A couple of Buffalo Sabres going to work on this power play. Cousins drops that back. Rupp with it. And Sam Rupp, a Regina native, bounces that down the ice. Hofer back to pick it up. Plays it back across to Byram, who was traded by Colorado to Buffalo this year. In comes Byram across the line. Drops that back for Mangiapane. McCann back to Cousins. Snap back across to Paul. Cousins back to Byram. Bowen Byram. Long shot through traffic, and that's swatted away by Whistle. Racing to it is Batch, and on steps Curran. And Great Britain survives the first Canadian power play. Canada back in action against Denmark tomorrow. Now, picked loose by Paul. A quick chance for Mangiapane, and tight, and the save made by Whistle.
Saved by Jackson Whistle. It's Mangiapane, who a couple years ago also arrived late to the World Championships and had a standout performance. Nice pass in tight. He just doesn't hit his spot. Far side of the net was available, but he pulled it a little bit tight.
And Mangiapane, of course, part of the incredible Canadian story in 2021. He did not play in the first 3 games. Canada lost all 3 of them. The first team, not just to win the gold medal, but to make the medal round after losing its first 3. Mangiapane was the tournament MVP with 7 goals in 7 games.
Almost needed a mathematical miracle to even make the quarterfinals.
9 things had to happen for them to make it, and all 9 happened. In the high slot, that pass is picked off by Ridley Gregg, and with Tavares likely in the lineup tomorrow, someone will have to come out of this lineup, as Hagel just missed on the tip. Here's Hagel back with it. That's knocked away. A chance now for Kirk. In comes Liam Kirk again, but a penalty coming to Great Britain.
O'Connor's going to get it one on the Hagel hit. Interference.
So Kirk had a goal disallowed for goalie interference, just had a breakaway thwarted due to a penalty to Ben O'Connor.
He doesn't like it. I'm not sure this is interference. Hagel has the puck on his stick. He drops it. I mean, I don't know if that's too late. He just had it on his stick. Nothing wrong with the hit. Hands were down. He was stationary, but either way, Canada right back to their second power play of the game early.
Cousins, Paul, Mangiapane, and McCann the forwards with Byram on the back end. Byram across to Cousins. Dylan Cousins. Trying to work that back. Gets it right back. Looks down to Paul. That's picked off and sent down the ice by Rupp.
Oh, having a word for Cousins as well. No way off. I like it.
Mangiapane feeds it across to Paul. Under Mangiapane, back to Byram. Byram across to McCann, walks it and shoots. And Whistle got just a piece of that.
He loves the short side. Jared McCann.
Picked out by Mangiapane, but a penalty coming now. A high sticking call. Will go to Dylan Cousins, I believe. And that'll do it for the Canadian power play.
He was unaware. He was heading back to the bench. Just not sure what he did. So it's been a steady parade. Let's see here what Cousins can come across. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Lazily gets it caught on Josh Batch's ear. There goes the power play. A little 4-on-4 action now for a minute 19. The situation Andre Tourigny probably hasn't worked on too much. Short time Canada's been together.
Mosey feeds it across on this 4-on-4 long shot, just wide. 4-on-4 for just over a minute. It's brought up by Dubois. Zellweger's jumping in. Owen Zellweger moves in. He's taken down. Owen Zellweger was hauled down by Robert Dowd.
He's okay there. Fresh ice sliding the boards, always a scary feeling.
Dowd plays it back across to Kate Nielsen. Born in Nottingham, England. Grew up in Lafayette, Louisiana. Plays college hockey at Alaska Fairbanks and is going to Michigan Tech next year.
Busy passport. See a lot of that in this tournament. Guys who chase this game all over the world.
Goes back to the Canadian zone, nice and cold against Great Britain.
Great Britain working their way in. The one thing to have Great Britain has the advantage on Canada is that a lot of these players would have played together for the national team previously. They don't shuffle through that many new bodies year over year.
They've endured tragedy the last year. Mike Hammond, who scored a goal and had 2 assists in their win in Division 1 against Italy that got them to the top division, was killed in a car accident last summer. And then, of course, there was the tragedy, the death of Adam Johnson in a game in Britain in October. A skate cut to his neck. Johnson, a former Pittsburgh Penguin, who was playing in Britain. Great Britain was in the top division in 21 and 22. They would have survived. There's no relegation in 2021. They would have survived anyway. They were 14th, thanks to a win over Belarus and an overtime loss. That's played back. Here's Kirk again. Shoots, scores!
He says that'll count.
Liam Kirk with a power play goal, and Great Britain has the lead.
His second goal of the game. First one that'll count. And he made the call himself. And you can tell he's the shooter, because this is a great opportunity. They get it to Kirk, and again, good screen in front by Dowd. Kirk slings it blocker side past Hofer, who's guessing glove. And good job to get in front, get out of the crease, get into the eyes of Hofer by Dowd, and Great Britain on their first official shot on net.
He led the tournament in goal scoring in 2021, was named to the All-Star team.
Don't sleep on Kirk.
And Great Britain does have the lead. Canada 10-0 all-time against the British at the World Championship. Great Britain did beat Canada at the 1936 Olympics in Garmisch-Partenkirchen to win the gold medal. That British team comprised mostly of Canadian players, and there's a chance by Bunting scores, and Canada answers right back as Bunting ties it up.
Michael Bunting opening the scoring for Canada. Eventful year for him. Signs a free agent in Carolina, gets traded in the Gensel trade back to Pittsburgh, reunited with Kyle Dubas, who's running Team Canada along with Rick Nash, and Mark Richardson, the Great Britain defenseman, gets right in the eyes of Whistle. And that's an easy save for the goalie if he can see it. And you can see Jackson Whistle staring right at his defenseman. If you're going to stand right there, you have to block the shot, or else give me a sight so I can see it. And Bunting, who usually does his work around the front of the net, scores from long distance.
Bunting won a gold medal with Canada in 2021. He did not record a point in that tournament, so his first point as a member of Team Canada.
Place in his career, hadn't sort of hit his prime years. Pass.
Lead pass to Mangiapane, Bunting in. Mangiapane drops it back, tipped on goal by Cousins, now picked up by Parayko. Parayko, playing in his third World Championship, has led defensemen in goal scoring each of his first 2 appearances. And plays it across to Gunther. The golden goal for Canada, the 23 World Junior Championship. And that play called offside at the British line. 11:05 to go. It's been an eventful first period here in Prague. A 1-1 tie.
The best hockey players and the best hockey fans at the same place. It's a perfect combination at the right time to be generous. We have shirts for you for free. And if you want one, let's get out! And also it's time for the mascots, Bowen and Bowen. And now it's time for the t-shirts. Do you want a shirt for free? Let's go! We got the best shirts for you, ladies and gentlemen. Another one, and we want to...
So Canada scored 30 seconds after Great Britain took the lead. It's a 1-1 tie here in the first period. Ollie Petridge plays that back down to the Canadian zone. Severson back to pick it up for Hagel, who flips it rink wide. Hagel, 26 goals for Tampa this year, 30 the year before. Picked up by McCann. Jared McCann slings that rink wide for Hagel. McCann chips that back to Severson. And it bounces back to Hagel. To Severson. Snaps it across. And long shot by Gooley. Hit a leg in front. Now, here's Critchlow with it. Cameron Critchlow from Summerside, PEI. Plays it down to the Canadian zone, but the play is called on an icing.
Well, Liam Kirk picking up right where he left off a few years ago with the shoots, the shots, and the goals, and he opens the scoring. And then right after that, Michael Bunting responds for Canada. And not that Canada would be at all panicked, but you don't want to be trailing in a game like this for too long. You just want to feel like you're in control.
These are hard ones to win, right? I mean,
7-0. Well, you just do what you're supposed to do.
If you win 15-0, people complain. If you win 2-0 or 3-1,
players don't really complain when it's 10-0 on Canada.
No.
Or any country for that matter.
Here's Byram with it. Owen Byram shoots, kicked out by Whistle. Jackson Whistle's uncle Rob played 50 games in the NHL. Alexic drops it back to Tanev. So to qualify as a foreign-born player, you must first obtain a passport for that country. So these players all have to have British passports. That can be from a parent. And the second part is you have to play in that domestic league for at least 2 consecutive years to qualify to play for the IIHF. That's if you've not played internationally for another country before. If you have done that, it is 4 consecutive years in the new country. The rules used to be a lot looser, so got like Paul DiPietro, remember him playing for Switzerland. There was passport shopping done a long time ago, so that's been pretty much ironed out. And away comes Bedard with it. And Bedard has the puck follow him for a moment, but it's played back out by Mark Richardson. In comes Paul. And Kirk has that back. Kirk back with it. Swings it back across. Picked off at center ice by Bunting. Winds it back in. Richardson stepped into him, and it bounces back to Bunting. And Bunting gives Kirk a whack on the back of the pants as Power goes back to pick up the loose puck.
Bunting would be a good player to have in a game like this, though, because he only knows one way to play. There's no tiptoeing into the game for Michael Bunting.
Power. Lead pass from Mangiapane, busting in, gets a step on Mosey, trying to drop it back. It's picked off by Cole Shudra. Shudra's dad, Ron, was drafted by Edmonton back in the 80s. And that plays offside, a late shot after the whistle drew the Canadians' ire in a 1-1 tie.
Well, the first period of the game at the Great Britain, Canada already 2 goals. Amazing atmosphere once again. In the fourth floor is so good that we're so happy to to welcome you here in the Prague Arena. But in case you're unsure of ticket holders on the afternoon's game between Austria and Denmark, or later on the evening for chat match, we kindly ask you off this match to exit the arena and then re-enter. But it's fun because outside there is the official fan zone located, and there you can discuss, enjoy yourself just in front of the arena. There's also water for granted, many bands, and a lot of entertainment. So in case you spare time, visit the official fan zone in front of the arena. You will enjoy that. And now, let's go back to the game. Are you ready, British fans?
Back at O2 Arena in Prague, day 2 of the 2024 Men's World Hockey Championship in Prague and Ostrava. Canada's won gold medals the last 2 occasions the tournament's been played in Czechia, 2015 and 2004.
Sorry, and Duggan are continuing their conversation at the boards there. Look at them going after each other still. Look at them.
Samuel Duggan getting a lot of attention from him, and now it's picked off in the slot and moved back out by Cole Shudra. Here's Mangiapane with it. Up ahead for Gunther. Dylan Gunther back for Mangiapane. That pass misfired. And back is Josh Batch to pick it up. Critchlow plays it ahead. And back is Gooley to pick it up. Caden Gooley, the Montreal Canadiens. Was scheduled to play in the Summer World Junior Championship in 2022, but was injured. He had made the team at Christmas time. That was in that tournament that was postponed.
It's always an interesting collection of players that come together. Pierre-Luc Dubois, who was heavily scrutinized post-playoff run and season in LA, and probably wants to get a positive end to his season. That was not the way he wanted.
And to end a gold medal drought. He has played in 4 IIHF events for Canada, has yet to win a gold medal. He won silver at the 2017 World Junior, the 2018 Worlds, and the 2022 Worlds. In comes Dubois with it. Walks right in. Dubois with a chance. That's knocked away by Dowd. And Dubois back on it. First year as a LA King after the trade from Winnipeg.
Probably breathed a sigh of relief when Rob Lake made it very clear we are not buying you out. We'll be back, because there was some chatter about that.
He's 25, so he could have been bought out for a third instead of the normal 2/3 for older players, but the fact it was even talked about would be concerning. Pareko, a long shot that floats wide. Sam Jones back to pick it up. Collides there with Dawson Mercer. Switched from 91 to 18 for Canada, giving up his 91 for John Tavares. The puck is brought up by Ben Lake. The Calgary native has it knocked away. A chance now for Ridley Gregg busting in. Gregg shoots and whistle. Makes the save on that. I guess you'd call that a whistle stop.
A good save as Ridley Gregg, who's the 13th forward. Able to jump on a turnover, quick transition play. And one of the things you have to try to be cognizant of early for Canada is the desire to overpass, be too unselfish, try to be a good new teammate, and defer all the time.
Olin Zellweger plays that ahead for Paul. In for Bunting. And up with it. Stepping up is Zellweger. National Hockey League and CHL Defenseman of the Year. Anaheim Ducks prospect that they really like. Here's Paul with it. Trying to center it. Anaheim had the Defenseman of the Year in all 3 junior leagues 2 years ago.
At some point, Anaheim will have to be good then.
Zellweger drops that back to Pareko. And Pareko sends that back in front. Goes off a stick and wide. Scooped up by Paul. Nick Paul back to Zellweger. Back for Bedard. Zellweger has a pass tipped away by Johnny Curran. Zellweger threads it ahead for Bedard. Plays it back around. Batch picks it up. And Cousins battling for it. Ben Davies poked that free. Davies was the hero for Great Britain in 2019. As Great Britain survived relegation that year. 1-1 the score here in Prague.
Another fun activity for this power play. Budeme se podívat, jakou aktivitu nám Rudka nalosuje na tuto přestávku. It is your showtime, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time for you. And I'm asking, is it your showtime? Okay. Spares are yours. Let's go on the stairs.
Here we go, man. Here we go.
And now, let's go! It's your showtime!
.5:33 to go here in the opening period. We mentioned Ben Davies in for the face-off now. He scored the overtime winner against France in 2019 that allowed Great Britain to survive and sent France down to Division 1A. There's a shot by Severson, and if you think that doesn't matter to Great Britain, you need to read some history, because that was enormous for them. So there was no tournament in 2020. So they were in the top division 3 straight years. 19, 21, and 22. Got relegated 2 years ago. Won promotion last year.
For that 19 tournament, they were sort of adopted as everyone's favorite team.
Yeah. They've not been in the top division prior to that since the early 90s. Dooley plays it across to Gunther. Slides that by Dowd, but bumped into the linesman there. Now Dowd back with it. Swings that rink wide for Evan Mosey. Downers Grove, Illinois. From a sharp angle, the save made by Hofer on the shot by Dowd. Dooley after it, can't get there in time. Icing called against Canada. So Canada begins with Great Britain, then Denmark, Austria, Norway, and it closes out next weekend. Finland Saturday, then Switzerland, then Czechia.
So you might not even know exactly how good this Canadian team might be until the final few games. They have the 4 lower ranked opponents to start the tournament.
2 groups of 8, the top 4 each advance to the quarterfinals. It's a crossover format. One in this group will play 4 in the other, and so on. Czechia is guaranteed to play its quarterfinal match here to qualify here in Prague. As Gunther moves in, drops it back, and that shot rattled wide by Byram. Picked up by Dubois. Feeds that back to Alexia. Now McCann back to Alexia, looks in front for Dubois, drops that back to Hagel. Hagel to Byram. In for McCann, that pass bounces back to Alexia. Looks back in front for McCann, took a slash on the hands there, didn't like that. The puck bounces back to center ice. 4 to go here in the opening period. Lead pass to McCann. Nathan Albert comes back on him. Great Britain was being talked about as a potential co-host along with France of the 2028 World Championship. Looks like France will bid solo on that. In comes McBain with it. Drops it back to Power. Owen Power has a look and shoots, and through the traffic. Whistle makes the glove stop.
Traffic is right. 7 guys in the lane here. 2 Canadians creeping on 3 or 4 Great Britain defenders. And head up the whole way. Owen Power tries to sneak it past. Decent offensive year. Probably not quite what Owen Power was expecting of himself this past season. Now, Rasmus Dahlin does eat up a lot of the offense in Buffalo.
2 first overall picks in that Buffalo defense, Power and Delane. Icing waved off as Power ranges back. Mercer plays it up ahead for McBain. McBain, a member of Canada's gold medal team last year. Davies works in on Parayko. Feeds that back to Power. And McBain up ahead for Mercer, trying to work that free. That was knocked away by Batch. Here's Gooley with it. For Bedard, just off the bench. And away comes Connor Bedard. Bunting with it. It's knocked away by Lakovic. His 13th year with the British national team. Now Bedard has it knocked away by Lake. And it's picked up by Phillips. Next year's tournament will be in Denmark and Sweden. Herning, Denmark, and Stockholm. There's Lake with it. That's knocked away by Paul. And Lake back on it. So right away in the first period, you can see that Britain might give some teams some trouble. They've scored their only shot here, though, in the first. Halbert shoots, and there's the second as Hofer makes the stop.
Well, Great Britain would be delighted with this first period so far. Even though they haven't generated very much, that's not the issue. They're happy to be defending well. There's Brett Perlini. You recognize that last name? His brother Brendan played in the NHL a little bit.
His dad, Fred, a legend in Britain. He played for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They went over to play in Great Britain. He is an absolute...
He had one year where he had 30 games played, 120 goals, and 210 points. He was averaging 7 points per game in the 90s. It's not in the 70s.
Number retired in Guildford, the home of the Flames. There's Halbert, another shot, and Hofer makes the glove save.
And the longer Great Britain can hang around the game, the more sure of themselves they will feel playing against a better opponent.
Here's Byram with it. Up at the Cousins, goes off his skate. And Bowen Byram has it back. Up for Gunther. Picked up now by Mangiapane. That pass intercepted by Sam Jones. Jones spent 7 years in North America, played for the Penticton V's in the BC Junior Hockey League. Here's Cousins with it. These British players, a lot of them have very colorful resumes.
Well, growing up playing hockey in Britain is not the easiest thing to do at a high level.
Dubois drops that back for McCann. In comes McCann with a shot, goes off the leg, it bounced to Dubois. That's picked off. And run up by Samuel Duggan. Final minute now of the opening period. Hofer gloves that down and bangs it back to center ice to McCann.
McCann skated into the back of the net, and the net moved forward and caught Whistle in the back of the head. There's McCann.
In Great Britain, so at the Olympics and here in IIHF competitions, it's Great Britain. Almost everywhere else, England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland have their own teams. In comes Power across the line, but the play is offside. But when the IIHF was founded, Britain was one of the founding nations, and so this remains Team GB.
They need to be able to draw from as many parts of Great Britain as they can. Good hit by Josh Batch, and you have to like the way that Great Britain is not just retreating. They're just not backing up and going into a shell. They're trying to be physical when they can be.
Steve Nielsen in for the face-off. 5 points in 7 games for Great Britain 2 years ago at the World Championship in his national team debut, just 22 years of age. Now it's picked out by Mercer. Looking down to McBain. It's picked up by Mosey. Grew up in Chicago, played at Minnesota State, Mankato. And now Mercer keeps that alive in the dying seconds of the period. Nielsen can't move it up. Second try, Batch does. And Great Britain grabbed a lead. Canada answered 30 seconds later. It's a 1-1 tie heading to the first intermission.
Not an ideal start for Canada, taking the early deficit on the Kirk's goal, but control play. They'll get a little sharper, a little cleaner. This is just game 1 of 10 as they continue to try to grow together and find their best game for 2 weeks from now.
It's day 2 of the 2024 Men's World Hockey Championship in Czechia. Our first intermission is coming up.
And a great opportunity to see a second period because 2 goals in the first. It's quite a promise. We do have a wonderful intermission program for you as well. And once again, thank you so much for joining us. To see Pat Arena on a Sunday afternoon is truly special here in Prague. Let's check out the statistics of the first period, and then the intermission program will begin.
on the ice dance, we have no goal. Keep it down. Check the grease. Get out. Keep it down. Keep it down. You both get one. Grease.
Tým Velké Británie hraje v plném počtu. vrátí do Prahy a za to teda velký klouče.
Já to počítal i s ostravskou návštěvností a za ten jeden den, my jsme prostě že taky dát velký hokej, jsme překonali 52 000. Ta cesta k tomu rekordu je tady stále otevřená a velký dík. Well, we just mentioned that there is still a chance to break once again the attendance record from 2015. More than 52,000 people in Prague and Ostrava Arena from yesterday, and now we're adding, I don't know, next other 15,000 right now. We'll see. Thank you so much. Do not forget to download also the official app of the IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship, where you get all the details and information about the tournament. And after the end of this game, visit the official fan zone, because there you can enjoy yourself. This is the QR code that will lead you to the app that is powered by Skoda, and you can play their fantasy game, you can check the standings, all the statistics, and also you can look here at the area on ice, and with the app you can still follow the Ostrava game where France is playing Kazakhstan. Now, it's time for another video that is ready for you, so let's check out the daily pictures that are yours, because you're creating the tournament. There's another game, Game 6 being played in Ostrava, and right now Team Kazakhstan is in the lead against France 2-1. So 3 goals they do have, 1 more than we here in Prague. So we can only improve and get better. Let's hope for more goals during the second period. And now it's perfect time to check out the highlights of the first period of the game, where Great Britain is facing Team Canada. What a classic we do have here at the 2024 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championships. These are the highlights. And now please welcome back on ours, Team Great Britain. And also welcome the world champions, Team Canada.
Jackson Whistle allowed 1 goal on 12 shots in that opening period. The goal by Michael Bunting tied it up 30 seconds after the British had taken the lead. Joel Hofer faced 3 shots in that first period, beaten by Liam Kirk. It's a 1-1 tie heading for the second period. We saw Connor Bedard on that Canadian power play. In the first period, it was the British who scored on their man advantage, coming out of a 4-on-4. Now the teams will start the second period 5-on-5. Here's Colton Parayko. Up ahead for Brandon Tanev. That's knocked down by Sam Rope. Being watched there by Tanev. Now forced free to Parayko, who jumps up. And Parayko battling for it. Has it knocked away and picked up by Mark Richardson, a 37-year-old British defenseman. A long shot by Mercer is gloved by Whistle. So if you're wondering, Canada's ranked #1 in the IIHF rankings. Great Britain is 20th. In other sports, England is #4 in the FIFA rankings.
Yeah.
Canada's 49th. In rugby, England's 5th. Canada's 21st. In curling, Canada's 2nd. Great Britain is 3rd. Now, in the Olympics, that's because Great Britain competes at the Olympics as Great Britain. So the British are ranked 3rd. Canada's 2nd. That's mostly Scots. The head of the British team. And FIBA basketball, Canada's 7th, Britain 52nd. That again is England. Bedard trying to work that free. Poke loose at the side of the goal for Bunting. Back he goes, and a hard shot by Alexiak. Hit a leg in front. That was Mosey a hit.
Heavy shot by Alexiak.
That puck bounces off a stick into the crowd.
Think of the big guy with that kind of heat from the blue line, defensive defenseman, but Bedard and Bunting go to work down below the goal line. Evan Mosey saying, "Can I grab a stick after the game?"
Used to happen a lot at the World Championship, the Olympics, when Wayne Gretzky would play.
Right.
Guys would ask their centerman to get thrown out so they could line up against him and get a picture.
Get a photo.
Someone would even look at the camera like it was a ceremonial face-off.
You will receive an official game puck in return.
But as we said before, I mean, you know, this is first of all, for British hockey, to be in the top division is enormous. Here's Severson. Feeds it back across. And to play against this Canadian team and to be in this situation, tied early in the second period, is huge for them. They will hope not to be relegated. So if you look at the British schedule, you've got Canada, Finland, Switzerland to open.
The opposite of Canada's there with heavily front-loaded, but they
Denmark, Czechia. Now, the last 2, they played Norway and Austria.
those will be the ones that they're hoping to.
You win one of those,
you're probably going to be good.
Yeah. Gooley a long shot, that deflected. Whistle makes a good save there. And Gooley back to pick it up. Gooley was a member of the Canadian team in the 2021 World Junior Championship. As that play is called at the British line.
And Dylan Cousins, a couple good face-off wins in the first period. Great Britain actually had the edge in the circle, which you wouldn't think. Or that's a good tip. And that's not great coverage. The way the Great Britain team is defending face-offs, they are handing the centerman off to the defenseman and asking their centerman to go chase the high forward for Canada. So in that transition, Canada's centerman would be wide open as he just was.
Here's Jones with it, shoots, that deflected just wide. Shot by Sam Jones, just missed. And McCann plays it back to center ice. Canada has been upset before by lower seeded teams at the World Championship. Lost to Norway last year. And also lost to Norway in 2000. In comes McCann for it to Hagel walking in. Feeds that down to Dubois. Dubois tried to center it. That pass was blocked. The biggest upset in the history of the tournament, 1976. Poland, which had just lost like 16-1 to the Soviets at the Olympics, beat them 6-4 at the World Championship. as Alexiak moves in. Feeds it across, that pass bounced away from Greg. The next day, the Poles lost 12-0 to Czechoslovakia and were relegated. So their glory was short-lived. But in 1976, for Poland to beat the Soviet Union was epic on far more than just a hockey perspective.
It's the reality of sports, why we like it. There's always a chance. And the longer the game goes along close, the greater the chance of it happening is. And you heard Andre Tourigny before the game talk about 10 games, you're just trying to get better all the time, improve, find your game. So no panic for Canada, but they probably want to up the intensity just a little bit.
In comes Greg with it, gets a step on rope, moves in, a backhand shot goes wide. Here's Greg back with it to Byram. Back across to Alexiak, shoots, whistle, kick that out. The rebound bounces back in front, picked up there by Dowd. And Robert Dowd fires it back down the Canadian zone where Hofer's out to play it.
Hofer is quick out of the net for a big guy. He likes to play the puck.
Here's McBain, rink wide to Byram. Great pass there, Byram. Back in the corner with it, rings it around to Bedard. Drops it back to McBain. To Tanev. Back to Gooley. That shot tipped in front. Whistle made the save of a deflection by Tanev. And Brandon Tanev back on it. To Bedard. Out for Paul. Paul feeds it back to Bedard. Pivots around Betteridge. And Bedard try to sling that rink wide to Severson. Severson back in front for Paul. That was tipped away by Lake. Now intercepted by Paul. Knocks that free. I think Paul sweeps that back to Severson. In for Paul. Back across to Gooley. Down to Bedard. Tired British players out there now as Gooley shoots. That was blocked by Lakovic and sent back down the ice. And the Brits can make a change with Canada quick ups. Bunting takes that pass from Gooley. Back to Bedard. Bedard in, shoots. That was blocked. As Duggan got in the way, and back comes Britain the other way. Cole Sugar moves in on Gooley. And that pass taken care of by Cousins. Bunting back across to Severson. Looks ahead to Bedard. And that pass missed. Icing called against Canada. And these Canadian players will have to stay on.
Chances in front as Brandon Tanev, nicknamed Turbo for his excitable play, gets a piece of that point shot and really leans on this one. And when you're tired, sometimes you need a break, and Lakovic gets it off the stick and a clear. Can't imagine that stick is still in one piece. What did Peter Russell call it in their own end? They play a hybrid swarm.
Yes.
Explain. Not quite man-to-man, so you're going to try to get more bodies around the puck than Canada would have. They have two, you have three, and then you collapse the other guys in support. Basically, you don't want to leave your players playing one-on-one. So you have extra bodies around. Great Britain understands one-on-one games they will likely lose, so hybrid swarm.
There you go.
For Great Britain.
And for those just waking up in Canada, it is 1-1. And the British actually led this game. Thought they led it a couple of times. Liam Kirk had a goal disallowed, a goalie interference, but then scored moments after that. Canada equalized 30 seconds later.
So the fans in Peterborough who Liam Kirk played junior with say, we've seen that before.
He's the first British trained player ever to be drafted by an NHL team. As Parayko moves in, and Whistle makes the save on that. Tony Hand was a Scottish legend who went over to training camp with Edmonton in the 1980s, got homesick and went home. He's now in the IIHF Hall of Fame, but Tony Hand's hockey DB page is like 4 pages long.
You like to see the blue and red in the crowd, though.
Yeah, and there's lots of Czech fans. The building's pretty much full here. A noon local start.
Surprised for a Saturday morning start.
This tournament in 2015 between Prague and Ostrava set the attendance record for the World Championship, and they're hoping to do it again this year. USA and Sweden in the other pool than Ostrava. Played last night. Swedes won that one. Dubois drops it back to Zellweger. Olin Zellweger. Around Nielsen, flips it back down to the British zone. Now Dubois back on it. To Zellweger, long shot, tipped in front. Hagel, rebound, scores! And Brandon Hagel gives Canada its first lead. 25-year-old from Morinville, Alberta.
Had an amazing year down in Tampa. 75 points, most of it even strength. And he gets into the forecheck to start the whole thing, draws in, turns it over, and then gets right back to the front of that, battles the bigger rope, and finds a loose puck to shovel it past Jackson Whistle. Good decision by Zellweger. He's very good at getting pucks down to the front of the net. And it's a one-on-one battle, which helps. It's just nobody else to concern themselves with. Hagel, who finished in the top 10 in the NHL in even strength points this year. Only 7 points on the power play, 68 at even strength for Hagel.
And like Bunting, he won a gold medal with Canada in 2021, but did not record a point in that tournament, so he too has his first.
Like Bunting, he couldn't quite hit his stride as a prominent player.
Yeah, a very different player now than he was then.
A guy who really understands how to play with other great players as he does in Tampa.
Game knocked down by Mosey.
Nolan Zellweger picks up a point.
Yeah.
Zellweger only had 2 shifts in the first quarter. His pace, I know you're trying to get the 6 guys to use a rotation. I think he could do well served to get him more ice.
Well, we've seen it before, right? I mean, this is the first game.
Yeah.
So we talked about Owen Power, how he went from being basically the 8th defenseman
To the first.
to being the guy they relied on. Gerard Gallant was the coach that year for Canada. Said, well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, he's a college player. He's up for the draft.
Do you remember that conversation? He kind of just joked up in the slash on the stick to out of his hand.
13:22 to go here in the second, and Great Britain going to the power play.
And we're about to begin with Skoda, fan of the game battle. It's pretty simple. You should scan the QR code and open the official app, the official IIHF app that is powered by Skoda, and vote for your fan of the game. The fans will be from Canada or from Britain, and you will decide that you will vote for your favorite fan. So once again, scan the QR code and get ready for the official IIHF app. And here are the fans. Come on, show us your passion for the game. The fans are voting for you. Show us some skills. All right, this is the skill we love. This is the skill we truly all need this. And let's reveal the winner of this fan battle powered by Skoda and Team Canada.
Jack McBain goes off for a slash, and Great Britain goes to the power play here in the second period.
They're 1-for-1 in the game. Yeah. Kirk's goal happening quickly in their first power play.
Billy Gregg for the face-off. It goes to Hagel, who banks it back down the ice.
This could be a role for Ridley Gregg if he wants to stay in the lineup and play every game. Penalty killing could be something he can latch onto.
And away comes Liam Kirk. Drops it off to Dowd. Alexiak pokes that back to center ice. Alexiak played last for Canada internationally in the 2012 World Junior Championship in Alberta. Steps up on that. The pass goes rink wide to Kirk. And Liam Kirk drops that back to O'Connor. Across to Dowd. Back to Kirk. Flips that to O'Connor. And the captain Dowd plays it back and takes the return pass. Rink wide to Kirk. Has time and shoots. Hope for the save. And Alexiak gets the rebound. Held at the line by O'Connor. Back across to Dowd. He shoots. That deflects wide. Mosey back on it to Dowd. Fans on that pass now tangles with Gregg and Parayko. And Parayko steps up at the play, not moved out. In comes Kirk again. Liam Kirk pivots back, goes to O'Connor, back across to Dowd with a shot. Pad saved by Hofer. Rebound off the side of the goal. Hofer lost the puck for a moment. And Dowd has it back. Buried there by Alexiak. And the Czech fans here urging on Great Britain. And again, Canada can't clear it out. Lake plays it back around to Kirk, and tired penalty killers on the ice now for Canada. Kirk feeds that back off the bench. Here's Kirk taking the pass and shooting. That pass came from Nielsen, who just stepped on the puck loose in front. And skipped away from Curran. Now Kirk winds and fires. Hofer makes the stop. Exhausted penalty killers on the ice for Canada. Hofer now shoots. Hofer to save. Rebound loose in front. Parayko reaching for it, couldn't get it out as McBain steps back on. And McBain, the only fresh player on the ice, again kept alive by Great Britain. Nielsen throws that back at the point. Richardson moves in, shoots, and a save made by Hofer. McBain back on it. Now he's tired too. Nielsen feeds it back across, and finally Greg gets to it and squeezes that out, but a long way to go to the Canadian bench. Greg gets off. It's fired back in by Halbert.
Parayko, Oleksiak, and Hagel have been out there 3 minutes to barely move.
Oleksiak to the line again, not out. Held by Richardson. Oleksiak steps into him.
McBain just got away with 2 high sticks in the corner.
Shudra not happy about that. McBain with it, lifts it out, and that'll be far enough. Tanev comes racing in, and Oleksiak just now getting to the bench. Tanev had his helmet knocked off. He's got to go off. And now a pass back by Mangiapane to Gunther. And pivoting back is Mangiapane. Throws it back in front, tipped wide by Gunther. Severson, long wrist shot, bouncing puck. Gunther reaching for it, couldn't score. The puck just bounced over his stick.
He kicked it wide himself.
Lakovic drops that back to Rook. Now picked up at center ice by Severson. Boy, Canada survived that power play late. Gunther back with it. Might be a couple of minutes for Parayko and Oleksiak get back on. Now Lakovic busting in, sends it back in front, just missed Perlini with that pass. And back comes Cousins the other way, along with Gunther. Drops from Mangiapane, that pass missed. Now comes Curran the other way, up for Kirk. Liam Kirk winds it and shoots, it goes off the foot of Power, and now Curran sent flying into the Canadian goal.
Well, that wouldn't be interference. Gooley hammered him in the net.
.9:15 to go here in the second period. And they're not going to allow a change here, I don't believe.
I don't know, Gord. I mean, you're allowed to play guys going to the net, but that is a pretty good hit by Gooley on Curran into the mesh. And here's the several good chances on the power play. It was a full 2 minutes. Canada could not get the puck out, and Hofer had to be as busy as he has been all game long. Kirk testing him. He is obviously the shooter on the power play. And after a while, those guys were out there so long, they were not even chasing the puck. They were just hanging around the front of that, hoping to get a whistle, and defending desperately to keep Great Britain away from their net. Here's Gunther. You're thinking, how do I miss this? First one over his stick. Second one, he kicks it wide. That's a natural goal scorer who doesn't usually not convert that kind of opportunity. So after that big collision with the net, he got the pegs back in.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna catch their breath. And you're right. I'm thinking, remember, these Team Canada, they played a couple exhibition games, but they haven't played for a few weeks since the regular season ended. Oleksiak and Parayko might not be right the rest of the period. They'll be catching their breath for the next 20 minutes.
Shots 20-11 in favor of Canada, the 2-1 lead. Back at the point, here's Lake with it, shoots, that deflects wide. Canada's presumptive #1 goaltender Jordan Binnington is not dressed for this game today. He and Hofer, of course, the goaltending tandem in St. Louis. The tandem today of Hofer and Dawes were Canada's 2 goalies at the 2020 World Junior Championship that won gold. Bunting to open the scoring for Canada. Back to Byram. And Bowen Byram with it. Drops that back to Bedard. Long wrist shot. Kicked out by Whistle. Rebound put wide by Bunting. Now high in the air. Over the head of Byram. Icing called against Great Britain.
Canada take advantage of the ice at the top of the zone and get pucks to the front of the net. Now starting to find their six on them. Michael Bunting just misses this rebound opportunity. Key for Canada is try to get a little bit of separation in front of the net. Where you're not just battling, but you're darting in and out, keeping sticks loose.
Zellweger. Back to Bedard. And Bedard swings that back. Zellweger a long shot. Save made by Whistle. Rebound in front. Bedard scores! Connor Bedard, welcome to the World Championship. Canada's got a 3-1 lead.
Great Britain having a conversation with the official. In previous years, this puck hit Whistle in the head, and they would have blown it down right away. That's not the rule anymore. The play continues, and Connor Bedard capitalizes while the officials meet. Zellweger drifts it in. I think I heard the puck catch what sounded like the chin throat protector of Whistle. And no, well, there was a high stick. Someone got it in towards the net there, but I don't think it was above the crossbar. And then,
so again,
Gerard won't miss that one.
Now, the high stick rule there is the shoulder, right, to play the puck. If it goes in the net, it's the crossbar, so.
Right.
Britain's had an unsuccessful challenge already.
Right.
So now Connor Bedard has played in 28 games for Canada internationally and scored 31 times.
When you play for Canada, you're playing best on best. And he is the best.
And he was the player really the most talked about here in Prague entering the tournament. He was the one that the fans here had come to see. In comes Power. He shoots, and that's gloved by Whistle. So Connor Bedard, the 18-year-old from North Vancouver, has Canada up by 2.
So let's get loud for them.
Back here in Prague, Canada has a 3-1 lead on Great Britain. The British had the lead in the first period. Canada equalized 30 seconds later.
On that last goal, Michael Bunting picked up the assist for batting the puck out of the air.
Yeah.
And Zellweger with his second assist from a point shot. Maybe they got the radio down to the bench saying, I should play Zellweger a little bit more there. Get him on the ice for instant production.
Canada last played here in 2015. The arrival of Sidney Crosby caused a sensation in the tournament. And the Czech fans packed the arena to watch Canada play, see the NHL players. Now a chance for Dubois with a shot. That's blocked. Power plays it back to Gooley with a shot that goes off the foot
Jump ball
of Sugar. Bounced right down to the crease. Here's Gooley back with it. McCann gathers a loose puck in center ice, drops that back to Severson. Now knocked down by Severson, who jumps up. Racing ahead was Liam Kirk to take that pass, but Canada quickly closed on him. And here's Gooley back to pick it up. I don't know if we've seen Parayko And Alexiak is that long penalty kill shift.
If they had the offensive lineman oxygen mask available, they'd be on it.
Now Perlini chips that down, but icing called against the British. Another tight icing call. And there is Connor Bedard, the latest goal scorer for Canada.
He starts to play for the point shot, but then filters in, and like all great goal scorers, they just have a knack of getting to the puck faster than the defense and not make a mistake when he gets it.
The World Junior Championship is in Ottawa coming up in December. Connor Bedard's a 2005 born, still eligible to play in that.
Can you imagine what he would do if he played in that tournament now? Better than he was 2 years ago?
He was pretty good in 2023.
Breaking records, we have 23 points in 2023. There's Alexiak, he's back up and running.
There you go.
There.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can visit our official
Out there with Bo and Byram. Byram, by the way, has some history with Great Britain. His dad, Sean, played 9 years in the old British Elite League. Played for the Brentford Bees and the Ayr Scottish Clan. Here's Alexiak, plays that back to the bench. It bounces back down to Rook. I got the name of the Brentford team wrong. I'll have to get that right.
The Bracknell Bees are the
yes, that's what it is.
League team. But my favorite British League team, of course, the Cardiff Devils.
Yeah, the Ayr Scottish Eagles they were.
Yeah.
Gunther plays that back to Pareko, winds and shoots. The stop is made by whistle. 5:58 to go here in the second. Canada a 3-1 lead.
Okay, another time for you, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are going to choose another activity and walk. What is it this side? It's love and Prague. Okay, let's play. It's obvious that you love, you really do love hockey. What about, do you love each other? Show us love and Prague. Yes. Who's next? What about you? Swap. Nice job. A tady další váleček, no to je vlastně, tak se nám to líbí. It's time for another couple. Yes.
3-1, Canada leads Great Britain in Ostrava this hour. Kazakhstan leads France 3-1. Kazakhstan narrowly survived relegation last year. Poland and Great Britain were the teams last year. There wasn't relegation for a couple of years. Of course, in 2020, the tournament wasn't held. In 2021, there was no relegation or promotion.
In large part because the lower divisions were not able to play to see who could be promoted.
Incredibly, in the 2020-21 season, the IIHF got every tournament in every division. Like right down to Division 4 at the Men's World Championship.
We sort of experienced on a periphery level how involved it was to try to put tournaments on those couple of years.
Here's Lake with it. Now played back and knocked down was Cade Nielsen.
Helped by Mangiapane.
In comes Cousins from room, shoots off the goalpost. Cousins had 7 goals in 10 games in 2022 at the World Championship for Team Canada. That overtime loss to Finland in the gold medal game. In comes Nick Paul with it. With the World Junior goal scoring did Cousins in 2021. Now losing the side of the goal, picked out by Paul, spins and shoots, that's blocked. And brought away by Lachovic. Lachovic, who plays for the Glasgow Clan in the Elite Ice Hockey League, had that knocked away. I knew there was a clan in there somewhere. Paul drops it back to Bunting for Gooley. That shot tipped back in front, rebound, score! There's Bedard again from Paul. And it's 4-1. And Connor Bedard has 2.
That was some kind of passing right from their own end. Crisp puck movement, defenseman joining the rush, making good reads, and what a nice touch from Nick Paul, who was in front to get it over to Connor Bedard. Caden Gooley adds the rush, so there's the little pass that breaks everything down. That is a good look, and great feel from Nick Paul just to drop it into the lap of Connor Bedard, and that is easy pickings for his second. And this is what he does, Gord. Like, I don't know if this is the third line, the fourth. I don't know what they call the lines, but he just scores all the time.
Team Canada scored by number 98, Connor Bedard, assisted by number 20, Nick Paul, and number 21.
It's another Canadian game with Connor Bedard in it. We're halfway through it, and we're on hat-trick watch.
Here's Greg with it. Ridley Gregg tries to throw that back in front. And Jones back on it. Zellweger back to Byram.
They're a happy Heat defenseman. Zellweger and Byram playing together.
And again, 9 of these Canadian players have won World Junior Gold within the last 5 years. Alexiuk ranges back. Nice and called again against Great Britain.
So Connor Bedard, we talked about him in the open. All eyes on Bedard in the game, and he doesn't disappoint. Rarely does. Gets his first of the tournament on a rebound, and the second one on a beautiful passing sequence off the rush. Even he would recognize that's not too bad, Nicky. Take that kind of feed all day long. And like I said, Nick Paul plays with Kucherov, plays with Point at times. Stamkos.
Here's Hagel with it. Shoots, got through, whistle, makes the save, and hangs on to the rebound. I mentioned that Britain will play Norway and Austria in its last 2 games. Hungary and Slovenia, who were relegated last year, won promotion this year, will be in the top division next year. They're those elevator teams, right?
Always up, always down.
Yeah, I mean, that's, and the trick is to find a way to stay in. That's what Great Britain did in 2019 in spectacular fashion with the overtime win over Great Britain, or over France rather. Alexiuk for it. And this is, I mean, we've talked about it before, but different teams are playing different tournaments here. For Canada, the elite teams, it's win the gold medal. For others, it's make the quarters. That deflected puck knocked away by Hofer. Denmark, for example, would be delighted to make the quarters. And for others, it's to stay alive. And each has a lot of meaning at each level. McCann drops that back for Hagel. That's brought back out by Curran. You saw the celebration by the British in 2019 when they won in overtime, and
it was a gold medal.
In comes Gunther with it now. Gunther tries to drop that back. Lake picks it off.
It's to the point where Great Britain will set up their tournament, their goalie rotation, their rest to peak for those games that are most important to them, which are the last couple against Norway, Austria.
Out in, shoots. Hofer makes the stop and gobbles that up.
Hofer settled in a little bit in this second period.
He was beaten on the first shot. Well, one of the first 2. The first one by Kirk was disallowed for goal interference. There is Owen Power, just 21. 7-year extension starts next year. And Bedard having a whisper there with the temporary captain, Colton Parayko. John Tavares will have the C on likely tomorrow when Canada takes on Denmark. Now Bunting back for it. A chance for Bedard with a quick shot the outside of the goal. Here he is again, holds the line. Bedard.
Oh, so slippery.
A long wrist shot, tipped just wide by Paul. He was trying to return the favor to Paul. And now Paul back with it. Tried to center it, that's swept away by Lakovic. Knocked down by Paul. And scooped back up by David Phillips. Petridge plays that back down. Hofer gets a stick on that and sweeps it away as McBain takes a poke at that. Here's Parayko back with it. Well, Parayko, the St. Albert, Alberta native. Looks ahead to Tanev. Skips back down to the British zone. And a play called offside at the British line.
One of the other objectives for Canada early in the tournament is chemistry. These lines have only been together for a little bit, so they're trying to figure out what works, what needs to be adjusted. D pairs and forward lines, and you're thinking about the Bedard line with Bunting and Paul. They've been out there for 3 of the 4 goals together, so it looks like maybe that's at least one group that will stay together going forward.
Make yourself tough to take out of the lineup. Zellweger steps up, and Mercer back with it to Byram. Picked up now by Tanev. Back is Zellweger to pick it up. Native of Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta. Now Duggan. Rick White goes to Kirk. That play scrambled the line. Offside, Great Britain.
Liam Kirk, the most prolific goal scorer for Great Britain. As you mentioned, he did play in Czechia this year. The Novich, almost 19 goals in 52 games. Yeah. That's a big
Litvinovic is a
scoring year.
Famous hockey hotbed here in Czechia. Hometown of the Czech GM Peter Nedved, among others.
I've seen Ned, an old teammate of mine, briefly in Arizona.
Yeah.
Best part about playing with Peter Nedved, I was teammates with him for 2 months. Never had his chin strap done up in practice once.
A man after your own heart.
Oh, I was so jealous. He would just...
Well, his Czech team opened with that shootout win last night over Finland.
Lucas Dostal from Anaheim was incredible in net for him.
Yeah. Poked up by Greg. He's got Hagel with him. He couldn't quite get that pass to him. As time winds down here in the period. And Canada scores 3 straight, including 2 from Connor Bedard, to have a 4-1 lead after 40 minutes.
Canada finds a way to get to the back of the net, a little crisper with the puck. An improvement on the first period is exactly what they wanted to do.
It's the 2024 Men's World Hockey Championship from Czechia. Canada with a 4-1 lead after 2.
And he proved that he is in the second period. Thanks to 2 goals scored by number 98, Connor Bedard. Canada is in the lead 4-1 against Great Britain. What a great performance. And Canadian style of hockey is truly inspiring and amazing. And congratulations to Canada for the second period. But we still cheer for Great Britain.
Don't you try and open the night from the other. Who's close? I think Kirk really had it too.
scared, boys. You're scared, boys. There you go. Holy!
Světa ve fandění. Raiffeisenbank, samozřejmě.
A nyní prosím, polipte nevěst.
basic.
So let's begin with question number 1. Here we go. So, who is the most frequent opponent of Great Britain? You can now vote if it's Canada, Poland, USA, or Sweden. You still have 10 seconds. 4 options for you. Is it Canada? Probably could be. Poland, maybe. USA or Sweden. Time is up and we see a maybe surprising answer. It is Poland. Excellent. So, question second. Second question is here. Does Canada hold the record for the highest scoring game in the IIHF Isaac Remote Championship history with a score of 47-0? 10 seconds to answer. Pretty simple, yes or no. But it's Canada, so maybe the answer is obvious. Time is up, and yes was the proper answer. As you can see, 140 were voting for yes. Congratulations. And the final question is here, a creative one. Current tournaments with belonging destinations here on the tournament. There is NHL, DEL, Karjala Cup, and Beer Hockey Games. 4 options: Sweden, USA, Finland, or Germany. And you should connect these options with the proper order. Time is up, and we see the answers. And until obviously Canada and USA, DL in Germany, Karjala Cup in Finland, and BG Hockey Games in Sweden. Thank you so much for attending this quiz, and we will see the winner. Here it is, Betsy, 2,309 points. Congratulations to Betsy, and you can pick up your prize at the enforcement desk behind Sector 101. So, that was Maddie, but now to Australia we see that Kazakhstan is in the lead 2-1. They increased their lead with 1 goal in the second period. So Kazakhstan maybe on their journey to first 3 points. That was Australia. Now back to Prague. Thank you, Prague Arena, because we're about to see the highlights of the second period of a thrilling game between Great Britain and Canada. This is what happens.
Let's go, boys.
And once again, welcome to the arena, Team Great Britain. And also, please show your appreciation to Team Canada.
We've seen a fine goal so far in the game between Great Britain and Canada. And now we are at the beginning of the third period. So ladies and gentlemen, show us that you are ready!
Jackson Whistle has allowed 4 goals in this game so far. Joel Hofer for Canada, 1 goal on 11 shots against by Great Britain. As Canada scored 3 times in the second period to take a 4-1 lead. The British actually led this game. Connor Bedard, big part of the show in a game that began very early on the West Coast, 3 a.m. Pacific time.
Vancouver fans will just be getting home from the post-Edmonton game reaction.
His dad, Tom, is a forestry worker who is used to getting up early, so...
On the ice, please. White. On the ice, stick on the ice. Blue, yeah. Jump.
Christian Vickman, the Finnish official, getting us underway here in the third period. Canada 10-0 all-time against Great Britain at the World Championship. We mentioned that the British beat Canada in the 1936 Olympics, a stunning result, although about half the team were Canadian. The British Ice Hockey Association actually came over and recruited players to play. Bunny Ahern was the head of the British Ice Hockey Association, went on to become the head of the IIHF, and a controversial one. Was considered quite anti-Canadian during his tenure. Here's Nick Paul dropping it back. Bowen Byram with it. Move back down to the British zone as Batch goes back. Britain will play Finland tomorrow. Then have a couple of days off and play the Swiss on Wednesday. Here's Paul with it. Bedard, a couple of goals and just over 9 minutes of ice time through 2 periods. Now a centering pass for Bunting that's poke checked away by Whistle. And Bedard steps up to knock that free. Now Bunting back on it. He's taken down. By the way, Olen Zellweger, 2 assists in just over 4 minutes of ice time so far in the game.
Just imagine if he could play 12.
You are veering dangerously into lobbying territory. You are.
Just don't ask me who he plays in lieu of.
You are bordering on advocacy here.
In a game like this, though, you will see everyone just roll 4 lines. Everyone get somewhat steady shift.
In comes Gunther with a step, moves right back in. Poke check at last second by Nathaniel Halbert. Halbert played 3 years in the Quebec League, 4 years at McGill University. As Cousins moves in and shoots, shot that wide. He spent some time with Laval in the American Hockey League as well. Shudra back with it. Cousins plays it back around. And banked back by Goulet. Long lead pass to McCann. Gets a step on Richardson and shoots. And Whistle makes the glove save.
And again, a couple looks off the rush. I thought Gunther looked like he might have had a step here. He can attack the triangle. Albert, crafty stick before Gunther was able to get it down towards his feet to knock it away. Was he taught well at McGill? He's got some fans in the stands.
The British fans are enthusiastic and travel well. Their favorite locales, by the way, they love Slovakia. Anywhere with cheap beer. Latvia.
Right. That's the common thread.
Yeah.
Not great food. Not sights and culture.
They basically rate countries, their fans do, based on the price of beer.
Okay. Not that I would know, but it feels like it's not too expensive here.
No, it's a good deal, from what I've heard. He's down with it. Now McCann has that knocked away. British fans were quite concerned when their team survived in 2019 because the next year's tournament was in Switzerland, which is very expensive, but that tournament was canceled. Another puck over the glass.
There's Olen Zellweger, who spent some time in the minors this year before he getting called up in Anaheim.
He had 9 points in 26 games for the Ducks. I mean, he's
an offensive producer, a prolific scorer. And goals and points, a junior.
And a guy, you know, a second-round pick based on his size.
Yeah. Not the tallest, under 6 feet tall, which is unusual for high-end defensemen. So that's Quinn Hughes, but the most high-end defenseman.
Hughes, the odds-on favorite to win the Norris Trophy this year. Here's O'Connor back for it. And O'Connor picks it back up. Lifts that back to center, looking for Liam Kirk. What a tournament he had for Great Britain in 2021. And again, they would not have been, there was no relegation that year, they would not have been relegated anyway. They finished 14th. He led the tournament in goal scoring. Came to the All-Star team, and deservedly so. The problem for British hockey to develop players is age-out tournaments are very difficult for them. They don't have a large player pool, so age-limited tournaments like the under-18s, the World Junior, are very difficult for them. They're mired in the very low divisions.
And the distance that players have to go to play games and to train hours and hours, which is different than big cities in Canada where you're going 10 minutes.
So Liam Kirk went to a game. His older brother started playing. He got into it. And that's, you know, it's all part of the process, right? Being in the top division helps. Now Bedard winds in. Got a cross for Severson. Bedard has it back. Connor Bedard has a look and shoots. That was blocked. And now Paul back on it. So having a better pro league, and the Elite Ice Hockey League does send teams to the Champions Hockey League. In comes Bedard again. Oh, what a move by Bedard. That's poke checked away at the last moment by Richardson.
What's good about Bedard's moves, it feels like they're in slow motion. So they're easy to understand, even though they work. Like McDavid is going so fast, sometimes you can't even see what he's doing.
In comes Sugar with it. Here's Gooley with it. Drink wide, he goes to Paul. Now Paul, pass ahead for Bunting. That's picked up by Mosey. Knocked down by Parayko. And picked up by Power. Next up in this arena today, Austria takes on Denmark. And the nightcap is Norway against Czechia. And again, the home team sets the schedule. So the Czechs have made sure for the most part that the team they play has played the night before.
Now,
which is perfectly acceptable.
Czechia did play the night before as well.
Yeah, and they played Finland. Like, the Czechs did not give themselves an easy game to start.
No, but now having won the first game.
Right, and against a tough
spot.
opponent, right? I mean, that's a huge advantage for them. Picked up now by Mangiapane, working it and shoots. That rattles off the glass. The puck went up and out of play.
That was a terrible release by Mangiapane. He knows it. The puck was rolling on him a little bit, and he sailed it high and wide. It's even down 4-1. Fans have got the wave going. Gord's favorite part of international hockey is the wave.
I love the atmosphere, and I think, you know, you saw it this morning. You were up earlier than I was. You were out looking around. There were Danish fans already with empty glasses in front of them at 9 a.m.
A very festive vibe in the city.
Yeah.
Around the rink, and the arena's not too far from the downtown core.
Lots of Union Jacks in the crowd here for this noon start.
And they got to play with the lead for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
As long as they would have hoped. But if you would have told Great Britain with 14 minutes left the score would be 4-1, they probably would have signed up for that.
Absolutely. You know, they had the goal by Liam Kirk waved off. Due to goal interference. He scored again a few minutes later and counted. McCann plays that back to Byram. Now McCann back across to Alexiuk. Shoot, short side, and whistle knocks that away. Brought ahead by Curran. And again, we mentioned it earlier, but the tragic death of Mike Hammond, one of Great Britain's top players, got in a car accident last summer. As Dubois moves in, rolls that wide, and a penalty coming up now to Sam Rupp. As he got his stick in on the hands, so Canada's going back to the power play. 13 and a half to go here in the third period. Canada 4-1 lead.
And now arena gets ready for the cheers on the giant screen. You will see two Pilsner Urquell glasses. It's time for you to bring yours that you have presently and show us how you can cheer. We're in a search for the contestants. The only condition is that you do have your own glass of Pilsner Urquell. And then try to cheer with a glass on the chamber screen. Here you are. Grab your beer and cheers with the glasses. Come on, you can see them all. Yeah, got it. I got it. Yes. It's impossible to cheer. So you want two beverages and two full fingers, and you can get it. In the main tent, in the official fan zone, in the main tent, you can pick up your two beverages and two full fingers. Thank you.
Team Great Britain, number 2, Minor Bounty Hookie.
So Canada back to the power play here in the third period.
Something worth working on. Try to sort this out.
Byram to Cousins to Paul. Out there along with Mangiapane and McCann. Paul back to Cousins. A shot off the outside of the goal.
I think Paul on the goal line extended. I would have him right in front of the net.
There's Cousins back with it. Blakovic was spilled. Now Byram, a shot that goes off a stick, up and out of play.
You're talking about competition to get on the power play.
Right.
He will be fierce. Here's Dubois. He's going to pass this to McCann for the empty netter. You can see him pull it over to his right to set up the pass. And Rock got that stick into the hands of Dubois. You watch Dubois skate like that, and you just see that combination of power and size and speed. You can see why at times you would want more out of him.
With the all-star team in the tournament a couple of years ago. Byram drops that back. McCann, a shot. He whistled that high.
Short side McCann over the blocker.
Byram back to Cousins. Moves back in. Cousins centers it. Just missed McCann. And McCann back on it. Down to Paul. Nick Paul. With Mississauga, Ontario. Plays that back to Cousins with a shot. And now Byram has it bounce away. Mangiapane. Down to Paul. That just missed. 40 seconds to go on the Canadian power play. It's rattled down the ice by David Phillips.
And the other thing you cannot do, overstay power plays. You can't hang out there for 90 seconds or 100 seconds. You got to change in a minute.
And we've seen Tournier sit players down for that. And regardless of who they might be, Bunting. Back down to Power for Bedard. Trying to snap that pass across. It bounces back to Bunting. Keeps that alive. Now it's sent down the ice by Halbert. Bunting. Plays it back in. Halbert banks that to the line, but not out. Power down to Bunting. Time winding down the power play. Here's Bedard with it. Feeds that down to Dubois. Trying to tap it back across. That was knocked away by O'Connor. Kirk races in for Great Britain. Drops it back for O'Connor. O'Connor walks in. Backhand shot, scores! Ben O'Connor with a beautiful goal to cut the lead to 2, and Kirk draws an assist. Well now.
Even Ben O'Connor is surprised he pulled that off. He's enjoying his work. What a pickup. After the penalty expires, Kirk jumps out of the player bench. Look at this pickup by O'Connor. Through the legs, and then backhand tidy. Up and over Hofer. This is beautiful.
This is O'Connor's 22nd game with the World Championship. It's his second goal.
Don't waste them if they're going to be like that. That was highlight reel material. He's having a lot of fun.
Even the linesman is congratulating him on that one.
And what the heck was that?
And look, for a team that's going to look for its results later in the tournament, this is a pretty good jolt of confidence for the British. They had the lead in the first period. They're down by 2 in the third. Scored a couple.
Good on the penalty kill.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Their goaltender has looked solid and steady. And they've got at least offense coming out of Liam Kirk for sure. He's their most dangerous player.
Now Gulick gathers it up. Drops that back to Tanev. To Severson in the high slot. Shoots. That hit Nielsen and bounced away. Mercer's stick was held. Couldn't get the loose puck. Well, banked up by Dowd. Looks there for Nielsen. Severson sends that back ahead. The British did not and have not in recent years been blown out in many games. They have not won a ton, but they have been mostly competitive.
This one right now is certainly closer than anyone would have anticipated.
Yeah, Greg drops it back to McCann. In shoots at the flex wide. Goes up and out of play. 9:50 to go here in the third. Canada with a 4-2 lead.
Casino brings you the official league athletic. We give you a taste. Try with us also with our virtual mirror. On a great smile, be it lipstick or your cheering face. Choose your colors as you like. Oh, what a great paper! And the Swedish one. And an important message, ours hockey fans, the attendance here at the Prague Arena and the game between Great Britain and Canada will truly amaze you. 16,935! Thank you so much!
Back here in Prague at O2 Arena, Canada's got a 4-2 lead. It's opener in defense of its 2023 World Championship. Canada's won gold 4 times since 2015. They've been in the gold medal game 7 of the last 8 World Championships. Great Britain beat Italy in its last game to earn promotion. Last year's Prague moves it and shoots. And Whistle makes the save on that. Britain and Poland were promoted out of that last year.
Ben O'Connor is still enjoying. Even the Canadian player is giving him a little props for this. The pickup step through Gunther and Power. Look at this. And then for a defenseman.
A 35-year-old. He played a couple of years for Windsor and Mississauga in the OHL.
He's still laughing. He can't get it up. The boys at the bench are giving it to him.
Now Nielsen plays it ahead. That pass knocked away by Parayko. Albert shoots. That bounces wide. Now Cousins tries to play that ahead. Zellweger. Lead pass to Gunther. And going Gunther back on it. Cousins tries to work that free. Albert up for Lake. That's knocked down by Byron. Plays it back for Alexia. Pass to Davies, got bumped there by Alexiak. Brought ahead by Hagel. And then Hagel shoots. That was blocked. It's a rebound and pounds that wide. That shot was blocked by Sam Rupp in front. He's slow to get up.
Karen Rupp into his face. Good job of the officials. They let the play continue for the second chance right away and then blew it down to make sure Rupp was okay. All right. Oh. You got to let that next shot happen before you blow it. Rupp was a physical player. 4 years with Prince George in the WHL. 3 years at University of Saskatchewan. So also the major junior CIS route.
Yeah, he was a Columbus 5th round pick in 2015. We mentioned that Kirk was the first British born and trained player to be drafted by an NHL team, picked by Arizona. Rupp was a Regina native. Wolford leaves that back to Alexia. Batch plays it back across. A long shot by Mosey drifts wide. Now shot wide by Batch. Curran steps up for it. Alexiuk back with it. Hagel. Great wide pass, knocked down by Mercer. Dawson Mercer coming back for it. Into the Bay Roberts, Newfoundland. Mercer plays it back in. He's a gold medalist here in Czechia at the 2020 World Junior Championship. Now Severson looking for Mercer, who had another 20-goal year for New Jersey this year.
Just got there right at the end of the season. But 20's 20.
Doesn't matter.
24, 22, whatever. He's the 20-goal scorer.
Yeah, he had 27 the year before. McBain in the high slot. The goalie is shot, hammered it wide. Rebound. Oh, a stop by Wesley. Came across on Jack McBain and took that away. What a stop by Jackson Whistle. And Bunting, who scored Canada's first goal of the game 30 seconds after the British had taken the lead. Hunting for that puck as Paul comes in for Bedard. Now Paul back with it. Back across to Bedard. It was poked away by Dowd. And Parayko back with it. Bunting works it back across, trying to find power jumping in. Here's Dowd back with it. Six to go here in the third period. Canada back in action against Denmark tomorrow in the second game here. That'll be at 4 o'clock local time, 10 a.m. Eastern. On the side of the goal, quick chance there for Shudra. The puck loose. Shudra digging for it, but Joel Hofer has it. Sort this back out. 5:42 to go in the third period. Canada leads Great Britain 4-2.
And so now it's time to play a game, and it's a simple game. Rock, paper, scissors. Mám tady dva soutěžící, kteří si zadají kámen, nožky, papír. Guys, are you ready for the play? So let's get ready to each other and start right now. 1, 2, 3, now. Okay, once again. 1, let's go. 1, 2, guys, you must be same time. Once again. 1, 2, 3, show something. Okay, once again, we must go. 1, 2, 3, go. Guys, you have to play. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. Once again, you must be quick. Okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Don't worry, you win the show. Thank you, guys.
Back here in Prague, it's day 2 of the 2014 World Championship. Yesterday was an eventful one. A shootout win by Czechia over Finland, which sent the home fans, I'd say home happy, but I think they made some stops along the way.
The same places they came on the way to the game.
Yes, maybe to, grab some stuff they forgot.
It's great seeing watch parties, all these restaurant and bars and TVs up and
big screens. And
everyone tuned in to Czechia.
Next year is in Herning, Denmark, and Stockholm, Sweden. As Mangiapane works in, shoots, and Whistle makes the stop on it. The next year is Freiburg and Lausanne. His Cousins gets his stick up there.
Here's that last save by Whistle on McBain. He comes across with his glove, taking it away. Well, it looked like it's just going to be an easy empty netter. Actually goes off slow skates, but Whistle finding a way. Get down there and take it away. It's annoying as a player. Goalies pull that off on you.
So we'll go 28-year-old adventure Hunt Kelowna playing his 4th World Championship. Spent 5 years in the Western League with the Vancouver Giants and the Kelowna Rockets.
Gives them this kind of goaltending the whole tournament. Against Norway, against Austria, teams that don't generate as much, they don't have their looks.
Austria playing Denmark in the next game here. Here's Hagel moving in, feeds that back. Byram walks in and shoots. That was blocked by Mosey. And now Curran back with it. Flips that rink wide for Kirk. In comes Liam Kirk. Finland 2 years ago. Czechia this past season, on to Germany next year. Hagel. Gonna drop that for Alexiak. Back across it goes to McCann. For Hagel, spins and shoots. Whistle knocked that down. McCann back with it to Severson. Slaps it across for Alexiak. Back to Severson. Alexiak back with it. McCann to Dubois, shoots. That was blocked. Hagel rolled the rebound wide. Severson back on it. Severson. That pass bounces across to Dubois. Now Kirk back on it, trying to lift that ahead, but Hagel knocked it down. In comes Gooley with it. He's taken down by Hulbert, and the play is called at the British line.
A lot of shots for Canada getting towards the net, but not getting to the net. And as the tournament goes forward, they'll try to increase the execution. And right now, Great Britain's thinking about pulling their goaltender. Look at the strategizing on the bench with under 4 left, down 2. They're not.
So again, goal difference only matters really in a three-way tie. So overall goal difference, I think, is like the 9th or 10th tiebreak. They don't want teams running up the score crazily because of goal difference. So it wouldn't hurt the British to pull whistle here for the extra attacker.
Right, because if you're tied, then it goes to head-to-head with one team. And if you're tied with 2 teams, then it goes like a little mini tournament amongst those 3 teams.
And so the goal difference only matters between the tied teams. I mean,
the games between the teams that end up tied.
So say 3 teams are tied. First of all, it's the record between the tied teams. Then it's goal difference between the tied teams. Then it's goals for between the tied teams. Goals again. I mean, by the time you got down to overall goal difference, the tie's been broken.
So what we're saying is Great Britain's pulling their goalie in the next minute.
That was a long way of getting to that, but yes, you're right.
And they're looking to try to get points out of this game.
So Peter Russell barking out instructions as Greg works in. That backhand shot turned away. Hulbert trying to clear it out. Here's Jones back on it. Lakovitz banks that back down. Whistle remains in the goal for now. And McBain chips that back down to the British zone. So Russell is now pointed at Whistle, indicating when they get the puck up the ice, he should look for instructions. Chipped down by Davies, and they're going to call that icing against the British, so the face-off back down to their zone.
The challenge in getting your goalie out is when you don't have the puck in the offensive zone at all.
Right.
For any length of time, it's tough to trust to get him out of the net.
And if the goalie comes out, you know that Bedard will be hat-trick hunting.
And everyone on the ice better get him the puck.
I wouldn't say he would try more to score, because he tries to score every time he's out there.
He's not changing who he is.
No. Here's Bedard back with it for Power. Hammered that wide. Now brought back up by Duggan. The British can't gain possession. As Power plays it back across to Bedard. Winds it across the offensive zone. Bedard in, shoots. It just missed high. Blake back with it. Here's wide he goes to Nielsen. Nielsen holding, and Whistle inching out, but the puck turned over to Parayko. Whistle heads back into the British goal.
They're going to wait for full and perfect possession. They won't get him out for the rest of the game.
Might be Wednesday. Now Paul picks it off. There he goes. Comes Nielsen. Whistle heads to the British bench. Lake walks in, feeds it across. The extra skater comes on. It's Liam Kirk. O'Connor Feeds it back across, inside 2 to go here in the third period. 6-on-5 for Great Britain. Chance in front for Nielsen. That was blocked by Byram. Now down with a quick shot. Turned away by Hofer. Byram for Paul. Up and for Bedard. The pass just missed him. It's at the end of a shift. He heads off.
That's a bad pass for Nick Paul. Knew what he was trying to do.
Severson for Gunther. That's high in the air.
They got a penalty for interference on Bunting. He's still down at the defensive blue line. And he's going to go and...
Oh, Bunting's making a beeline for the British player who knocked him down, and the linesman.
It was Ben O'Connor.
Yeah, Shane Gustafson made a quick step to intercept Michael Bunting, who was hot.
So this is a high flip. I mean, he didn't hit him that hard. Doesn't feel good, but he got his face bumped into the shoulder, but he should be okay. Michael Bunting, gritty performer. The town he grew up in.
Yep, Scarborough, Ontario. Also the home of our Michael P. Johnson.
Yeah. So now, that, I mean, the referees are having a conversation.
Peter Russell just found out they got penalized.
At most, that's 2 minutes. At most. Referee saying 5-on-4 for Canada, so another chance to work on their power play, which hasn't been snapping it around.
Keep right to number 28, minor penalty for interference.
So with 1:17 to go, Canada goes back to the power play.
In an eventful third period with Ben O'Connor.
Yeah.
With the highlight reel goal. Kind of, he's basically just standing there trying to have a subtle little pick and crashed into him.
There's Byram with it on the Canadian power play. Down to Paul.
2 defensemen on the power play for safety's sake.
Severson and Byram. Here's Byram with it. Minute to go now in the third. Severson back across to Cousins. Cousins feeds that down to Paul. Little backdoor pass for Byram, missed. Now Paul back with it. Back to Cousins. Holds, feeds it down to Paul.
He could take that to the net if he wanted it. Nick Paul's got so much space.
That sheer the stick of Richardson right in half. Cousins feeds that back to Severson. Severson shoots, it's tipped high. Paul back on it. Back from Mangiapane to Severson. Back across Cousins. Cousins shoots at the flex wide. That's Richardson with a forward stick now. Got it from Betteridge. Severson back to Byram. He hammers that wide. Time winds down here in the third period. Mangiapane back with it. Back across to Paul. Severson back across, and time expires. Canada will win it 4-2. Overcoming an early surprising deficit. Connor Bedard, a pair of goals as Canada improves its record to 1-0. The British fall to 0-1. Canada will take on Denmark tomorrow. Great Britain will play Finland. Final shots 34-15 in favor of Canada.
Familiar sort of first game for Canada is team trying to find chemistry, fitness, game sharpness, all those things in the game that they knew they were going to win from the get-go. So they worked through it. They had some good moments. There'll be some teachable moments for Andre Tourigny. For Great Britain, they'll feel really good.
Yeah, I mean, Liam Kirk had the goal to give them the first period lead. Ben O'Connor scored a highlight reel goal in the third, and they hung in there with the defending gold medalists. And now we'll get the player of the game presentations and then the Canadian national anthem.
And we were wondering what Connor Bedard could come up with. He comes up with goals.
Yeah.
Which is par for the course for him. And the Paul Bunting Bedard line scored
The best
3 of the 4 for
players
Canada.
will be awarded by Raiffeisenbank International, official sponsor of the 2024 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. The prizes will be presented by Martin Pishta, Marketing Director of the 2024 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship Organizing Committee, and Managing Director of Raiffeisenbank Czechia, Mr. Peter Yatsenko. Best player of Team Great Britain, number 26, Evan Mosey.
These are chosen by the team's management, so the British have chosen Mosey.
I figure they'll save it for Kirk for later.
Native of suburban Chicago.
Best player of Team Canada, number 98, Connor Bedard.
28 games played for Canada at the under-18s, the World Junior and the World Championship. He has scored 32 times.
And after a long year in Chicago, back playing for Canada, a chance to win, which he didn't have that much of in Chicago this year.
Dear all, please rise if you're able to for the national anthem of the winning team, Team Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, first 3 points for Team Canada, defending world champions. But a great performance also by Great Britain. Thank you so much. Najbardziej wypełniliśmy zapas, a chcemy was pozwać na zapas dalszy. 16:20 minut začíná utkání superáme s Rakouskem a Dánskem. Pro oba týmy to bude premiér na letošní mistrovství na IHF lední hokeji. Žádáme vás, i v případě, že máte lístky na druhé utkání, prosím, co nejrychleji opusťte arénu a vraťte se zpět. Děkujeme mnohokrát, 16:20 bude startovat druhý zápas na večer, pochopitelně hlavní bod. Ještě jednou žádáme vás, abyste opustili arénu a vrátili se s tím případě, že máme lístky. Kdyby ne, užijte si jeden oficiální názory, která je hned vedle prostě arény. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the webinar game here in Prague Arena at 4. The first game for Team Austria and Team Denmark will be held at the 2024 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. In case you are ticket holders, you still must exit the arena and re-enter. So please do it, exit the arena and then re-enter. In case you are not ticket holders, leave the arena and enjoy the rest of the day at the official fans administrative next to Prague Arena. Thank you so much. You are doing this World Championship special. See you soon at the next game, and let's celebrate victorious Canada.
Ben, let's start off with that really pretty goal you scored. I think I saw the linesman give you credit for it. What was going through your mind when you scored and then the celebration afterwards?
I don't know, I blacked out. No, Kirky made a nice play on the wall and we practiced it, we go through the same. Jumped in and luckily put it in.
The last time Great Britain played Canada was a 8-0 win for Canada. 5 years later, a 4-2 result today. What did this game prove to your team about its ability to play competitive hockey with a team like Canada?
Yeah, I think this is our 4th year in the top flight, and every year we've gained confidence and the ability that we belong here. We can play. I think we've shown that tonight. We're not an easy team to play against, and you know what? I think it's a good start. 4-2 against Canada, the reigning champs, best team in the world. We've got a lot to build on, a lot of positives, and look forward to tomorrow.
Your coach said the speed, size, and skill would ultimately be Canada's threat. What stood out to you about the way your team countered that today?
Yeah, we just try not to get pulled to the outside, try and keep tight in the house and play everything to the outside. I thought we did that well for the majority. A couple of goals where we didn't pick up around the net, and they're going to punish us. So that's what we need to take from to going into the rest of the tournament. We need to make sure we take guys in front of the net or you're going to get punished.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lindsay. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Connor, you're no stranger to international tournaments, but your first World Championship game and you have 2 goals. How good does it feel to start the tournament with such a bang?
I don't know. It's not something I'm thinking about right now. It's first game, and we got a lot of areas to improve, but I thought we did a pretty good job, and we're focused on kind of getting better every game. So kind of put this one behind us and move on tomorrow.
You mentioned areas to improve. What area stands out to you?
I just think getting used to each other and getting used to our systems. That's going to happen with playing with new guys and new coaching staff and everything. So nothing that you don't expect, but it's a positive. We can get a lot better.
Someone that isn't new to you is Olin Zellweger. He had 2 assists in this game. He set up your first goal. You, of course, have experience together internationally. What stood out to you about his game today?
Yeah, he's a stud. I mean, I played against him a bit in junior and obviously this year in the NHL one game. And he's not an easy guy to defend when he's kind of, dancing around up top there. So it's fun to watch him, and I'm lucky to kind of get to play with him for a few tournaments now.
Awesome. Congrats on the win, Connor.
Yeah, have a good one.